This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for September 25th, 2025. Tickets go on sale today for the Lost Americana Tour, Machine Gun Kelly, coming to the TD Garden in Boston on December 12th. Tickets are on sale at noon. Matt Helders from Arctic Monkeys has launched a new project called Terrific. The debut single, Weho Yet, is available now. Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, Mike Mills from REM, and Black Crowes co-founder and former drummer Steve Gorman have joined forces for a new supergroup called Howl Owl Howl. In addition to announcing their debut single, My Cologne, they mapped out a 9-date U.S. fall tour that includes a stop in Boston at the Paradise Rock Club on November 8th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, September 26th at 10 a.m. My Cologne arrives on Halloween. A woman has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for the scheme to try and steal Graceland from the estate of Elvis Presley. Lisa Janine Findley from Missouri pleaded guilty to felony mail fraud back in February, telling the judge she accepted responsibility for her actions. Prosecutors accused her of using a fake company, falsifying court filings and a fake loan, and a forged signature of Presley's late daughter, Lisa Marie, to conduct a fraudulent sale of the legendary Graceland estate. Portugal the Man are set to return with a new album, Sheesh, which is scheduled for release on November 7th. The album announcement arrives as 2 new singles get released, Tanana and Mush. Brian May from Queen says he's, quote, very keen on a residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The 78-year-old admits a traditional tour no longer appeals to him, but he says he'd love to put on a spectacular series of shows at the revolutionary venue in Las Vegas under the banner Queen and Adam Lambert. Saying, quote, I've got my mind working. I sat there watching the Eagles thinking we should do this. The stuff that we could bring would be stupendous. The Butthole Surfers made a surprise return to the stage, performing 3 songs after a screening of the documentary The Whole Truth and Nothing But the Truth at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, California. The band haven't played since completing a one-off show at the LA waterfront in San Pedro, California back in 2017. Saying, quote, we've been getting 6-figure offers to play live, but I just don't want to do it. We're really lucky not to be in prison, and I don't want to push that anymore. I don't want to be sending a bandmate home in a body bag or for a venue to get burned down. We're some genuinely fucked up people. We're good people, but we're fucked up and we're damaged, he said. Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil revealed earlier this month that he suffered a stroke at Christmas. Now he says that he's experienced multiple similar medical events, making the revelations on Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk, saying that he suffered 4 strokes throughout the years. Quote, 2 of them I didn't even know I had. One of them was a mini stroke that happened and I just lost feeling in my hand and that was it. And I got over that pretty quickly. But then this was a big one. The most recent took place on Christmas night. It temporarily left him without the use of his legs. This led to the band postponing their Vegas residency until this month. Saying, quote, I went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane. I can walk now, but for 5 months, it was just off and on, not knowing what's going to happen. And the doctor said that I probably wouldn't be on the stage again. And I was like, no, man, I can't do that. Vince Neil said doctors discovered a blood clot that ran from one of his legs into his brain. They were able to calculate the number of strokes he'd experienced by examining the scarring on his brain, and he went into detail on his physiotherapy regimen. Congratulations to Rob Halford from Judas Priest, who revealed that he got married to his longtime partner Thomas in an intimate ceremony last December. The 74-year-old says he finally tied the knot after years of putting it off, mainly due to Thomas's deeply conservative background. Saying, we got married by the cactus outside on December the something or other about a year ago. He's from Alabama, extremely conservative. I stopped asking, let's get married. We've been together forever. And suddenly on one of our night walks, he said, I think we should get married. Straight home, on the phone, get the pastor. He said it was a simple ceremony with just a few guests. Obviously, me and him and an officiant, 2 of my dearest friends, Jim Sylvia, who was Priest's manager forever, and his wife. There was just 4 of us around the pool, around the cactus. the heavy metal cactus, he said, and it was over in an instant, but it was just a beautiful, simple ceremony. Kings of Leon are set to close out 2025 with 2 newly announced New Year's Eve shows. Kings of Leon live in Las Vegas will run December 30th and 31st at the Venetian Theater at the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas. Pre-sale is happening today starting at 10 a.m. Ben Collar from Converge and royalty expert, educator, and musician Dan Haggerty have banded together to form the Heavy Music Collective, having racked up impressive clients, including Metallica. The Heavy Music Collective is a division of World Collections, a global publishing administrator that secured Metallica as a lead investor back in 2023. Saying if you have music on the streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, you probably want to hear about this. In 2018, the Music Modernization Act was passed. The law created an agency called MLC, the Mechanical Licensing Collective. When you put your song on Spotify, it has 2 royalty halves. One is the sound recording, one is the musical composition. The musical composition generates a mechanical royalty. Spotify, Apple Music, and everybody else has to pay that money to the Mechanical Licensing Collective. Once it's there, it's your job to go and find it, fill out the paperwork, and claim the money that's rightfully yours. But guess what? If you don't claim the money in 3 years, they are legally allowed to take it all back and give it to major music publishers. So with the Heavy Music Collective, it's our job to find all that money that's rightfully yours and get it before they do. You can get more details on the service at heavymusiccollective.com. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 277, featuring Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless, is available now.